Hello, nerds. Oh, I started too early. Hello, nerds. Welcome to the GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news from geeks like you. Geeks like me, geeks like Sintel.
Yo, what's cracking, baby? Y'all love your enthusiasm. My man was like jumping the gun. I thought I was, you know how like in track and field you hear the cow. There's the double thing when you jump off the line too fast. No,
yeah,
no.
But I was like, is it 3, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 1, go?
That's so important, though. Is it because I always go on the one? You're one of those people that go one and
I always
totally
give it a beat. Like I had always been given it a beat, but if you're new to the show, like I am, apparently, what we do is we cover. Oops, I'm sorry, smacked my mic. We cover the geek news beat and we share our opinions with you, and we hope that you join us in the chat and share your opinions with us. I guess, did I introduce myself? I'm your host, Carl. And then, like I said, we've got Sintel with us. And
what's cracking?
How was your weekend? Were you buried under the deluge of spider news and spider trailers? Holy hell.
Man, you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't even see it coming. It just came out of left field.
Right?
It's like 6 p.m. on a Saturday. And it's like, hey, Spider-Man. I was like, what? I got stuff to do.
No warning. Here's a gift for you. All right. So let's just do the quick rundown. Okay. So, of course, the No Way Home trailer came out. It was either last week or the week before, right? And then now Sony's back at it with Spider-Man or Spider-Verse 2 Part 1. Across the Spider-Verse. And then we've also got the announcement that Spider-Man's in the new Fortnite season, and then PlayStation's out here promoting the costumes from No Way Home in the remastered game. If you got the PlayStation versions of both Miles Morales and the Spider-Man.
It looks good too, man. I looked at the costume. I mean, I was a fan of the game, man, and it looks dope, man. The rendering was amazing.
Oh yeah, that Insomniac technology, whew, so crisp. That photo mode, you can do amazing things with that. Make your own comic books if you want. So let's go into the Spider-Verse trailer. Anything there really catch your eye? Like if you stayed for the end credits of the first Spider-Verse, none of this should be a surprise. And what are you doing here if you hadn't stayed for the end credits? So we've got Spider-Gwen. I don't know if we're going to call her Ghost Spider yet, as is the official corporate branding of her. She's come back through the portal and snuck up on Miles while he's laying in bed. And then you've got Oscar Isaac, Spider-Man 2099.
2099, right?
Shoot, what's his name? It's another Latino name. I forgot it.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot it now either. Oh,
you got that character, and it looks like they're getting into a little tussle and, another new art style there. And apparently, Lord and Miller had already confirmed to some outlet that Spider-Man from the Japanese live action show, the precursor to the Power Rangers, is going to be in Spider-Verse 2. So, I'm looking forward to this. There was also the tone for Prowler's theme that was heard briefly. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do that, because I think Prowler is dead in the first one, but who knows? It's comic books, so anybody can come back. Yeah, always, all the time, and if not the same one from that universe, then a different one from another universe.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing about multiverses. All bets are off. Anything can happen. Here's some that as far as like my Twitter was concerned. Miles's hair is a lot different. It's a little bit fluffier. So people are like, yo, you got to put something in his hair, man, get his hair right. And then the second thing is a big thing, especially in the Black Twitter space, was Miles's J's. He had the Jordan 1s. But now we get a chance to see Gwen Stacy in her Converse. She got some Chucks on.
Instead of the ballet shoes.
Yeah, so she rocking some Chucks. I don't know if it's because of maybe they got some kind of contract that's going on with Nike, because I think Nike owns Converse. I think.
Right, they do. So does that mean we're getting rid of was it Adidas the last time?
Oh, we're not talking about the Adidas in the video game. No, we don't speak of the Adidas. It's always the Jordan.
Oh, right, that was the video game. That was right. That's right. That was the big controversy about the shoes. Yeah. It's important to the character.
But Yeah, but you know what though? Like it's been like I think there was an article about 4 days ago regarding Shang-Chi, and he was rocking some Jordans as well, and that started trending. So I mean, there was one of the original Keaton Batmans wore Jordans. I think there was another superhero. So yeah, so it's I mean, it's not completely like new. I'm just happy to see us, embracing a very iconic type of brand.
So. We're expanding the Spider-Verse further. It's Across the Spider-Verse is the name of it. What alternate Spider-Men or Spider people are you looking forward to? Like for me, Spider-Man and Leopardon, you got to have Leopardon. Yeah. And the emissary from hell from Planet Spider, that is my number one.
Mm-hmm. There's one I've only heard about it. I've never actually even seen the comic, but apparently there's a Spider-Man that is actually made of thousands of sentient spiders that fill up the Spider-Man suit. Spiders, man. There we go. I wouldn't mind seeing a cool little like dig at spiders, man. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh man. Oh man. Or if they break the fourth wall, because like in the Lego movie, that is both in the CG Lego world and also in Meat Space, the human world. Like if they break into live action here, sign me up, like they were crossing art styles already in the first movie. And if they continue to do that, that's great. If they do a stop motion one, I don't think there's ever been a stop motion or claymation Spider-Man, but I'm down for that. Give it to me.
Why not? Yeah, exactly, man. I really want them to go back to that old 80s Spider-Man with the pointing, just go back to that again and just like live in that verse.
The Electric Company, for at least,
like a good minute or so.
Teach us some things.
Yeah, exactly. And even, it would be really funny if they are going to go live action. I'd rather them go like the old 80s live action. No, 70s. I mean, it was like late 70s.
Right. With the really thick ass rope.
Yeah. Like if you're going to do it, like it'll be really fun to like really keep it tongue in cheek. So just have some fun with it. I'm just more excited after seeing so many art studios flex what they're capable of doing artistically. I am really excited to see the Spider-Man franchise like tweak the different art styles per the universe. It's what I'm hoping they're doing, because they showed us that a lot. They showed like good examples of that in the first Spider-Man. So I just want to see the art flex a little bit more. That's my only really big expectation. I think the story's going to be good. The voice acting was phenomenal. I just want to see the art flex more.
Same. And it's from Sony Pictures Imageworks. And if y'all saw Mitchell's and the Machines, I think that's another great example of some really great animation style that it could draw in there.
Yes. Why aren't more people talking about Mitchell's and the Machine, man? It's like it came out, it got a little bit of buzz for like a couple of weeks, and people kind of like, it just
because it's not Disney or Pixar,
It needs more. It needs more flowers, man. It needs more flowers.
Hey, go watch that. I think that might be my nomination for animated film of the year. Really? I need to go back and see what else came out this year, but it's very strong. Speaking of Lord Miller, because they were also producers on that.
Yeah. No. For film, I it's hard to argue against that. But for series, nothing is touching arcade, my guy.
Okay. That's still on my list. I am way behind on my media consumption. But okay, let's go back into the multiverses.
Okay.
The TV Marvel projects are arguably two different separate universes from the MCU, and a lot of people aren't really fond of the ABC ones, except for maybe Agent Carter and a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not really hot on the Hulu stuff, but people love the Netflix one. And today we just got some confirmation of something that I think a lot of people who, if you're watching the rumors, already suspected. And especially after last week's episode of Hawkeye, you poured some more gasoline on the fire.
A little bit.
Kevin Feige just came out today and said, literally, quote, if you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that remains to be seen. I'm going to call my shot December 17th. We're going to see that.
Yeah. I mean, there's been multiple accounts of him being spotted in Atlanta while they were shooting. And then he actually did one of his controversial interviews in Atlanta where he kind of like, he didn't slip, but you could just read his facial expressions. His facial expressions kind of spilled the beans a little bit. So,
like,
I mean,
oops, I said too much.
Yeah. So, the writing is kind of on the wall that he's going to be coming in. And of course, like you said with Hawkeye, bringing Echo. Echo isn't a spoiler. She's just she's got her own series, so that's not spoiling.
Let's not say anything more for those who aren't caught up with Hawkeye.
Well, it's not a spoiler. She's getting her own show, so it's not like a spoiler. It's going to be. I'm not going to say anything that's going to spoil it.
I'm not talking about Echo.
But there's some people that are in Echo's world. Yeah, there's people that are in Echo's world that could hint to some more like Daredevil could be on the scene type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So other than just that plain direct acknowledgement, no big news there yet. Stay tuned. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about anime girls real quick. All right, so
go ahead.
I know in our audience, if you are a nerd, surely you have heard of or have watched VTubers, personalities who've taken over the streaming world this past year and a half, 2 years. But one of the OGs of that just announced an indefinite hiatus. So Kizuna Ai, who is a gamer girl from, let's see, when did she come out? 2016. Time both flies and also moves so slowly. That's 5 years. So this is one of the OG VTubers, and she was like full body puppeted. She even appeared on TV shows. She's got video games. She's got songs. She held a live concert in Oculus, which restreamed on YouTube. I don't know if the full thing's on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But like this was super high-tech stuff. And then, if you're following the VTuber space and you've seen the rise of HoloLive and Nijisanji, you've seen that why are we just looking at 2D cutouts now? What happened to the technology? And of course, as they got prominence, as they got money, as they got an audience, you've got those special episodes where they do have the full body avatars and mocap. But right now, they took over the market, and Kizuna Ai is falling a little behind. Like she's the OG, but the attention really is on this new wave of Nijisanji and HoloLive people. Okay. So what happened is they are saying that she is going under the hood, and they're rethinking the brand and rethinking what she can do. And the social media will stay up, but will only post new announcements or important news, and all the old videos will still be available. But for now, they are pressing the hibernate button on the Kizuna Ai machine. Sintel, you got any favorite VTubers or you into that scene?
I don't have any favorite VTubers, but I certainly respect the technology and the art that's behind it. If somebody's taking hiatus, here's the thing: there's always going to be something new. But the one thing that can always keep old heads and OGs like you're talking about is personality. What makes that person connect to the audience? Because the technology is just icing. You really do care about the cake, the substance, the thing that you want to get at the most. Yeah. And if she has that, her getting back into the scene probably isn't going to be that big of a problem. They'll probably go under the hood, tweak the paint, the virtual paint that's on, and then she'll be, she's
every year they gave her a new costume. Every year on her birthday, she rebooted with a new costume, and everyone was interested. What's the new costume gonna be like? What new figure do I have to buy? I only have one figure and a plush. I'll just say that.
Okay.
But yeah, apparently, like I was saying, she started off super high tech, and the company had been in debt to the tune of $6.1 million in its third quarter in 2019. So that was some years ago. So it costs some money to run. But let's talk about all right, real quick, for the English speaking audience, there are English VTubers, but then if you are a fan of G4, one of the other full body mocap VTubers out there, Code Miko, is one of the hosts on the G4 network. So once you've run out of stuff to watch here on the Geekish Network, check back on the G4 network and check out some of those things. She does a talk show similar to Space Ghost Coast to Coast, where she just is a total weirdo while trying to interview people real straight. But okay, over here in the Western world market, not in Japan, we do have someone who is sort of a virtual girl, Doja Cat, who's been in a lot of very digital and video game inspired stuff. So she has teamed up with Girls Who Code, a nonprofit organization that aims to get more women and girls interested in the field of computer science. And what they're doing together is they are debuting what they called the first ever codable music video. And so what this is sort of choose your own adventure or a Mad Lib sort of thing, where at certain points in the video, they're going to stop and teach you little code snippets in different languages. So there's CSS, there's JavaScript, and Python. And so things that you can change are text that's on screen, the paint on her nails. So this is actually the Woman music video that came out 3 or so days ago. Have you watched that one?
No, I haven't seen that.
It is very remember the time. You remember Michael? So this is Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's a very Egyptian themed thing. So if those things catch your attention, check that out. And I think that's really interesting because, so Doja Cat, very forwardly sexual person, right?
Very, yes.
Very.
Yeah, she's very comfortable in her skin. Yes.
Yeah. In her skin and little else. And so this is teaming up with Girls Who Code. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting thing. And I'm not like a huge prude, but I also feel like, hey, this is an interesting team up. Right.
I think I like it personally, especially when you got like, some people like Megan Thee Stallion that's hitting the scene, who's not afraid to showcase, how they look. She's a very, thick, fit, beautiful woman, and she's not afraid to, let the world see it. And if it brings that kind of confidence to people that look like her into, being their best self, why not also influence people that look like her into avenues they may not necessarily explore? Yeah. Now, I'm saying that in terms of Megan Thee Stallion, but that also goes with Doja Cat as well. Who knows? Maybe it takes Doja Cat for some young girls or even some young man, to be like, coding. Let me
just
let
like
me
that joke in The Simpsons, right? It's when Bart was running for office or something like that. He wrote a poster that said "sex" in giant letters, and now that I have your attention, vote for Bart.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is to get the people's attention first.
And let's not pretend that kids aren't seeing this everywhere.
Oh, kids are absolutely watching it. And she's got their attention. So she's at least, using her talents for good.
Yeah.
instead of the obvious.
She's a very forwardly and plainly visibly pro STEAM person. You watch her music videos and it's like, she is a tech nerd. She's all about it. Yeah.
I'm loving that the culture that we've grown up and loved since we were kids and had to really participated in the shadows in a lot of ways is being picked up by the mainstream and just being like, listen, there's this whole other thing that you can do. I'm not trying to gatekeep a damn thing. So please, the more the merrier. There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
Even if you can make your cheeks clap. Come on in, clap and code is all I'm saying. Clap and code. You can do it all. I'm here for it.
If you do want to check that out and clap and code, you can go to dojacode.com. That's DOJA code CODE.com. And
can I do a small interruption? I just want to give a shout out because we were talking, like you were talking very briefly about the VJs, the VTubers, and I do remember one. Well, before all of this was like back in '99 on BET. There was a show called Cita's World, CITA's World, or whatever it is. And she was that. It was blocky and clunky. You could probably look it up on YouTube.
I'm doing that right now.
She was like the video tuber that brought in, R&B and rap videos. And this happened like '99. This is like
got the idea. This is
ago.
Right on. This is right on.
Right. So I'm just like, oh, okay. I do remember. So maybe I was a VTuber and didn't even know it because that's not what it was called back then.
No, but like you said, it's a VJ. It used to be video jockey, right? Like disc jockey, but this time she was not just a video jockey, but a virtual jockey. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right on.
She was virtually on the money. It was like, they can do some amazing things with these graphics. Yeah, welcome.
All right. Put down those hands and let me see them because right now this is a bad thing that happened with kids and sex. A PlayStation senior vice president who had worked on the PlayStation Store has been outed by a vigilante pedophile or group. So People versus Preds nailed this guy by impersonating a 15-year-old boy, and they made George Cacioppo. They said that they were going to meet him at his house, and as a 15-year-old boy, and he invited them for sex. And so far, Sony has confirmed that, quote, "We are aware of the situation and the employee in question has been terminated from employment." So this is extrajudicial. This is like Batman going around and punching random hobos in the street. But a representative from People versus Preds told Kotaku, who was reporting on the story, that the reason that the information was released publicly on YouTube through a YouTube video rather than handed directly to the authorities is because, as a vigilante group, quote, "the police department doesn't work with cyber groups like us. That's when the internet takes over." They did confirm that, of course, they handed over the evidence to the proper authorities.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. So this dude, in this video, he's wearing a PlayStation 5 shirt. He apparently also did that when exchanging information with the fake boy. Why would you do that? So wearing a PlayStation 5 shirt doesn't mean that you work for PlayStation. Like, anyone can go to GameStop or Target or whatever and get video game shirts, Hot Topic, whatever. But why would you do that? Or I guess, is that part of the shtick? Is like he gets to be your uncle who works at Nintendo and gives you all the secrets and free stuff?
I guess, in order to sell whatever wares he's selling to these unsuspecting kids, the PlayStation 5 shirt is kind of like the van that he's peddling candy over towards so that he can snatch him up. It's the only thing I could think of. He's a sick dude. Whatever happens to you, you deserve. Why you prey on children, man? Yeah, I hope you get what you deserve, fam. But the PlayStation 5, golly,
seems
man.
like it. It seems like his company acknowledged that this is true enough that he is out. And again, high-level person, senior vice president of PlayStation Store.
That is nuts. Oh, wow. That's so embarrassing too. Embarrassing for the company, but don't worry. I mean, they don't do so well incarcerated. So, there'll be a different kind of justice that gets administered to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees on the due consequences.
Yeah.
So speaking of bad news at video game publishers, more bad news for Activision. So the QA team for the primary developer of the uber popular Warzone apparently laid off 30% of their QA staff after 5 weeks of overtime, before further year-end crunch, and after saying that they were going to convert people to full-time employees from being contractors and give them a raise. So that, of course, like with many things with Activision, it seems like every week stage a walkout. And apparently, according to organizers, there were about 60 Raven studio employees who participated, and that's a cross between both the QA and other development teams. On the other side of this, the company said that leadership has repeatedly said that these are not, quote, layoffs, but a termination of a contract. Whereas the QA team is saying that these people are in good standing and we're not due for termination due to poor performance or any other fireable offense. One of the other Call of Duty studios, of which there are many because Activision does things like that, Treyarch, on the other hand, who leads the development on the Black Ops series, announced that all of its contract workers would be converted to full-time. So that sounds like further insult to injury. So the quasi-union group that was already at the center of the rest of the Activision trouble, there's the thing that they're asking management for is to simply give all QA testers, including those laid off, full-time positions. That's the extent of their demands today. Just say, you promised that things would get better in the department. Quote, this team was told multiple times by Raven leadership that there were positive departmental changes coming. These upcoming changes were also used as a reason why no member of the team received standard promotions or raises that were meant to be in place by March of 2021. So they were screwed out of the regular annual raise just in general. And to emphasize how little this would cost Activision, Call of Duty Warzone, the project that these people were on, brings in $5.2 million per day. Per day. That would absolutely cover the cost of converting everyone over and giving that $1 raise.
Is it just me, or is like working at Activision like walking to Mordor or something? Like I just want people to just find another option. I want something bad to happen to the company, because they just keep finding new ways to find a new low. They're like, nah, we're not done yet. We can get even lower. Just wait. It's going to be something else in another week.
The terrible part is the execs are going to exit this with a golden parachute, and like the dev teams, the people who have been suffering, will suffer worse because they're like, oh no, our public image is down, our stocks are down. That means we have to do layoffs, even though we've already been doing layoffs in record profitable years.
Yeah.
Every consequence, whether positive or negative, results in a reduction in force.
Do you think that eventually a company like Activision is going to reach a point where they're not going to be able to hire the best of the best anymore due to the culture of the company? Or is just the money just too good? Or like, so how do you feel about
that? The best of the best will be able to pick and choose, but this industry, as well as many, many other industries, preys on the young and the hungry. So the workforce is absolutely disposable and easily replaceable by the young and inexperienced. But for the very experienced, if that is not a culture they wish to partake in, or they do not wish to have their name in association with a tainted brand, then they can walk away. So your question specifically was, does this mean that the best and brightest may no longer want to work there? Yeah, they have that choice.
Well, I hope the best and brightest are paying attention.
Yeah.
And, I hope you put your needs first, because obviously the company you're working for is not. So just be leery. That's all. Just be safe out there, everybody.
Mm-hmm. I want to end on a related and potentially positive note. Okay. In Australia, they have now their own video game industry union. Formerly, this organization called Game Workers Unite Australia had been just an advisory board where they were directing different craftspeople in the video game industry, so like programmers or artists, to the respective trade unions of their profession. So different categories within the Professionals Australia or the Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance, MEAA. But then starting in 2022, they're saying that they themselves are becoming Game Workers Australia, an all-new division of Professionals Australia, which is an umbrella union that encompasses everything from engineers to scientists. And then so they'll have not only just, of course, the union negotiations, but also specific goals targeted towards the video game industry. And what's nice is, like, one of the tools that a lot of corporations try to scare people away from unions with is the taking away of some of your pay through union dues. And this particular union does have a free membership tier, and they say they will continue to offer the same assistance that they currently offer to anyone in need who approaches them. So FYI.
Well, that's interesting. So when I hear about stuff like this, was there like moves for the industry as far as like the global leaders? Was there like a move for them to take talent from Australia, and they're just doing this as a way of like protecting themselves or future proofing? I'm just curious, because I think it's a great idea.
So back in ye olde days, back when we had B-level games, so if you remember Midway, that level of game, there were many video game studios in Australia. But then as the cost of video game development went up, and as you're probably aware, Australia is ridiculously expensive to live in, a lot of those studios shut down because they weren't able to get contracts anymore, even if they were under a parent organization. So for example, do you know the game LA Noire?
Yes.
So they had a studio that became part of Rockstar that was Rockstar Bondi, I want to say. And then after LA Noire came out, they shut that down. And that's just one of several bigger name Australian studios that shut down. So of course, a lot of people can't fly out to some other country to get jobs. So there became a thriving enough indie scene there. And I guess as time went on and the cycles went on, I think potentially some of them were able to develop those mid-level companies again. As for whether or not big name publishers have presences there, nothing immediately comes to my mind. So I know you say like I'm the encyclopedia of things and I'm in the video game industry. So, but like just my immediate recollection of any osmosis that I've taken, I don't feel like there's any publishers that have a presence in Australia anymore.
Okay. No, because I'm only asking because it's very rarely that people just wake up in the morning and be like, let's just form a union. It's normally something has to incite that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I was just curious. I was like, well, what's causing people
of course
to band together and circle the wagons?
Maybe those indie organizations aren't the best run places, and they're more desperate than even the cutthroat AAA space, right? And maybe this is also, like I said, a consequence of the wave of studio shutdowns that had happened 10, 15 years ago. This is my guess. This is my conjecture. Just disclaimer. Because they are literally on the opposite side of the world. And, I don't get my Aussie game industry news.
No, context is king, man. And every little bit helps. Okay.
All right. So that will do it for our show tonight. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Thank you, Randy. If you've got any needs for creative work, graphics or presentational stuff, motion graphics even, for projects large or small, please give a shout out to Digital Click. They provide the Geekish Network, not just the GeekBeast, with the graphics for all of our shows and the network. So that, once again, Digital Click, thank you again for making us look pretty. On our new platforms here on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Ring that bell. What is it that the VTube, I don't know, do VTubers even say that? I know YouTubers say that plenty. Like and subscribe, ring that bell, smash that like subscribe button. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow night.